Hi everyone, I'm Gabriela. For the past 6 to 7 months as a grade 10 student, I've been occupied with the personal project where I would independently explore on a chosen idea according to my personal interest, undergoing the cycle of inquiry, action, and finally reflection. I'll be taking you through my MYP Personal Project journey. The first step is considering the idea for my project. I listed different ideas I could do for this opportunity before finally deciding on my current idea, terrariums, an ecosystem created within a clear container, or simply put, it's an aquarium for plants instead of fish. I thought it would be the perfect project to be doing for me because I'd always been curious about the item, but I hadn't really gotten the time to learn more about it. And to add on, because I grew up in an environment that's rich in nature, I wanted to create a terrarium as a way for me to bring nature inside of my house that also doesn't require high maintenance or my constant attention. This way, I believe that I could build a stronger appreciation for nature as well. There were two goals I had set for the project, a learning goal and a product goal. My learning goal is to learn how to create and maintain a terrarium. And for my product goal, it is the terrarium itself. I also created success criteria for me to evaluate my product laterwards, and also an action plan to help me keep track of my progress on my product creation. In achieving my learning goal, I conducted research on things I wanted to learn about the terrarium, answering questions from the mind map I created. I was able to organize my research findings and learn many new things about the terrarium, such as the drainage layers and 53 years being the longest known lifespan of a terrarium living on its own. I think researching is an important part of my project because I wouldn't be able to create my product without doing it, as I have limited knowledge on the topic myself. So the secondary resources such as articles, YouTube videos, and online blogs that I collected information from really helped me in getting the data I needed to learn about the topic. To test my learning and understanding about terrariums from my research, I created my very own terrarium. I first collected the materials. The total cost for the materials was not expensive because most of them could be found around my house. Then, after collecting the materials, I created my product. I referred to the success criteria to make sure I followed the specifications, and I used the action plan to monitor my progress and reflect after each task. It was not difficult to create the product itself, and I had fun during the process. I was able to use the 8L skill of creative thinking in creating my product, as making terrariums needed my artistic mind, especially when deciding where to place plants and decorations inside the container. For maintaining the terrarium, I actually found it much harder than what I was expecting, but because I thoroughly did my research and expected the problems that could come up in a terrarium, I could instantly know what was wrong with the terrarium and how I should fix the problems. For example, I saw that my succulent underwent etiolation, which is when a plant stretches due to the lack of sunlight. So I moved it to a place in my house that gets more amount of light. So here's my final product. I actually created two, one for each type of terrarium, open and closed. After a month and more, I actually saw evidence of growth, especially in the closed terrarium, where the moss created a beautiful outline inside the glass. Also, some succulents in the open terrarium grew taller, which means that the plants are still alive and growing. And when I conducted a survey to get other people's opinion about my product, I found out that majority prefers the closed one, saying that the mushroom decorations were great and that they could imagine fairies living inside of it. And other than conducting a survey, I evaluated my product by comparing it to the success criteria and came to the conclusion that my product is successful in these aspects of my specifications, but still need to improve on these. Although distraction and procrastination challenged me throughout my project, I was able to successfully encourage myself again until I finally completed each task according to the time I'd set for myself. To conclude, this personal project not only allowed me to learn about terrariums, but also developed me further as a learner according to the IB learner profile. And as an IB learner, I also developed my ATL skills, mainly research, creative thinking, reflection, and communication skills. These ATL skills will surely be useful in the future. For example, the research skill will be useful when conducting research for future projects at school, even when doing tasks outside of school. There are definitely things I still need to improve, but through this experience, I was able to have gotten better than my past self on many aspects and skills. That is it for my personal project. Thank you for listening.